and welcome to another World of UX podcast. This is your host, Darren Hood. Thanks for taking the time to join us on today. A special welcome to those of you joining us for the first time. Today, we're going to share the conclusion of my Talkin shop session with Jonathan Bowman, the director and the founder of the American Board of Design and Research, a new licensing initiative that has been established to help us to stabilize and standardize the discipline of user experience. But we're not going to delay. Let's go ahead and dive right back in. This is going to be relatively short today. We played most of the interview, the session last week. We shared most of it. And so we're going to dive right in today. So enjoy the conclusion of this nice little chat that I had with Jonathan Bowman. I've seen people, they've been working, say, 5 years. They claim to be a senior, this, that, and the other, whatever they claim to be. What you are, your experience is a number. You're not 3 years, 5 years, 2 years, 8 years, 12 years, 15. I just told you, I was doing UX work for 10 years, but I was functioning as a mid-level person. Why was that? It was because of where I had worked.
Yes, so that'll affect it too.
Yep. Because you can have 2 years, 5 years, 8 years, 15 years, but where did you work? Because where you worked over that time is going to impact how much you matured in the discipline. There are people, I remember there are some people, I met somebody once who worked at a Fortune 50 company, and they had been working for that company pretty much their entire career. 8 years, their perspectives about UX was only based about one company. That actually does not work in your favor from a standpoint of how you mature, especially when people assume that the FANG companies are the absolute places to be, that they are the pinnacle of the work world. But when it comes to UX maturity, the FANGs, a lot of them are god awful.
It takes you 6 months just to push out one icon.
Yeah, so This is not good. If you worked in the government, nothing against government jobs, but they move like molasses outside in Alaska in December. So they don't move very fast. And so that's all fine. Hey, it is what it is. That's how work works, if I can say that way. But it also means that your maturity is moving at that same snail's pace.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up too, because that's another really awesome value prop for licensure is yearly you're required to complete 30 credit hours of education and training in our field, whether you're a researcher or a designer. And that's going to help you bolster up your skills. So we will help you get along, even if you're, unfortunately at a place where you're not going to get the experience you need for sure. But you're absolutely 100% right about that. The whole goal of companies is companies grow. If you're at a company that has not grown, there's a likelihood the maturity level of your UX has not grown either, meaning your team didn't grow, the work that you're doing isn't more complex, therefore you're not going to get at a higher level of competency at those skills.
Yep. And these are things people don't think about. I talk about all the time how there's people that want to they want the job, they want the UX job, they want the UX check. And the thing I usually say after that is they don't want to do the work. And I want to add something on to that is stimulated by this conversation. They don't want to embrace the journey.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people, UX is a journey. Remember, we're still an infantile discipline. We actually still are. We are still the baby in the room. When there's a meeting and all the different disciplines come into that meeting, that design meeting, we are the baby.
Right.
We are the only one in the room that people want to democratize our work. We're the only one that comes into the room that other people want to take our work from us and do it. We're the only ones that come into the meeting and everybody has ideas about how our work should be done. The only one. Are you ready for that?
Right. And that's another great point, right? That's a great selling point for what the license does, right? When someone starts to, pop off and say, hey, I think, you should make the UX like this, it instantly gets shut down, right? The conversation will now change because you just look at that person like they've got a banana growing out of their head and say, well, you don't even have a license. John does. Let's just go with what he says.
Yeah. You remind me of a story once. It's digress and mention this real quick, but We were doing work for a major automotive manufacturer, and they were reintroducing a model of the vehicle that had been gone for years. They're reintroducing it. And anytime, I don't know if you did any work with the OEMs before, but you always have a reveal project and you have a launch project. So it's like, okay, reveal is this vehicle is coming, and launch is this vehicle is here. So we got ready. We went through the statements of work. We looked at everything we were trying to do with the reveal project. We present it. I do all of my work. I study everything. I look at all, assess all the needs. I translate all the requirements. Here come the wireframes. So here's the wireframes. Here's the direction we need to go. Everybody said, man, this is great. Fantastic work, Darren. We were working with a third-party agency because we had too much work inside. So a lot of big agencies sometimes will farm work out, for those of you unaware. So we had a third-party agency. And back in that time, everybody was always trying to get a Flash Design of the Week award. And that was all cute and fine and dandy till you find out why some people were trying to do it. And so in this particular case, they saw my work. Everything was approved. The product owner, everything, everybody was thumbs up. Even the third party agency was thumbs up. But they're like, forget this guy. We're gonna get ourselves a Flash Website of the Week award. They took everything I did, changed it to accommodate what they wanted to do. They had custom cursors that nobody understood. All types of stuff going on. We weren't designing for doing. We didn't care about mobile at the time for this particular initiative, and mobile phones were out by now, but we weren't focusing on that. It was the worst. It was a complete failure because they changed what the UX person had presented. So we do that for a reveal. Okay, but it was done. It was beautiful. I think they did get a Flash Site of the Week. It was a beautiful site. It just didn't work. Nobody could find anything. We had gone back to the days of the .com bust where everything was pretty, but it wasn't practical. So that's how the .com bust happened. We come back for the meeting. We're getting ready to work on launch. We got people flying out to the Mojave Desert. We're testing all these vehicles. All this stuff's going on. We're working on the site. And we go through the same exact process. We get the SOW. I translate the requirements. We get everything set. I roll it out. I walk the entire team through of it. Everybody gives a thumbs up. But before the people ran off again, before the third-party agency ran off, the product owner said, we know that you folks meant well with the prior project. His butt was on the line.
Yeah.
We know that what you were doing, you know why you did it. But this time, we're going to do what Darren says. And they executed on that. Now, here's where I've got an upcoming show where I'm going to be talking about this. You have to be ready to deal with the insanity of the UX world in order to survive and to thrive in it. Because what they did previously was sheer and utter insanity. And if the product owner didn't step in and say what I'm about to mention, the same thing would have happened. He said, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do what Darren has prescribed. They went out, they executed on it. I actually eliminated the learning curve that was created by the previous design, and we mimicked the navigation from the standard brand site. In this site, that was a big part of what we did. The look and feel was very similar so that people were not confused by what was going on. And we abandoned it was a microsite, but we didn't go full blown microsite because we didn't want to increase cognitive load and expand the learning curves for working with the site. And they said it was the best reveal site or best launch site in the history of the company because of that. And this is what a lot of us deal with this in our work, where they don't want to listen to us because everybody feel they got these people saying everybody's a designer.
No,
but when everybody's a designer, nobody's a designer. And so consequently, the people who have the expertise, which having a license will eliminate that factor.
Exactly.
Because you don't when the lawyer comes in and says something, you've never heard anybody question the lawyer.
Well, they'll question him, but they'll do what he says.
Yeah, they will, because they definitely don't question the expertise.
No, not the expertise.
They don't challenge it, and you know the penalty. You know what the consequences are going to be. This is where when I remember coming into rooms and people say, "That's your opinion." I'm going, "No, that's an expert opinion. There's a difference." Because we're always the baby in the room. the playing field needs to be leveled, where when you come in, you don't have to have the degree. You can have a license. The degree doesn't.
Yep.
The license doesn't require a degree.
Right.
But it will cause people that they're going to have to take notice.
Yeah, because you took the extra steps to take a 2, sometimes depending on what you want to do, 3-day test, a battery, a really hard exam to prove scientifically through matriculation that you're actually competent in what you do.
Yep.
And because you took that extra step and you spent that money and you invested in yourself and you believed in yourself, now you have a third party vouching for you. That shows that the work that you can output and do is really of high value. And that brings the return on investment to companies like more than anything else. Yeah.
Absolutely. And and you just remind me of one other thing too, I want to throw in here. Folks, these tests are proctored. These are proctored exams. There is no person A registers for the test, but person B takes it.
Yeah.
Because we've heard those stories. One person interviews for the job, but another person shows up to do the job. Yeah.
That is true. We have a great partner that we partnered up called Measure. Just going through the process of taking the exam myself was pretty rigorous. They're asking me to show them my phone. Then I have to put my phone away. I have to show them my ID, 2 forms of government ID. It is a bit of an annoyance if you're going to do it remotely, but I promise you it is 100% proctored. This is an authentic thing. So it's pretty awesome that we partner with them. They're a great company.
Yeah. And with connection already with all 50 states.
That's correct. They're very awesome and very flexible too. So I'm looking at their calendar. These guys will work on days that I would think that they wouldn't even work. So if you had to take it over a weekend, I think they accommodate that too. So it's pretty awesome.
That's fantastic. And I know I can sort of kind of perceive somebody else is asking, yeah, I just heard you mention 50 states. What about overseas? And I do have a huge listenership. A listenership on this podcast actually is internationally is almost like at a 40 to 45% clip. And so can you speak to the international efforts?
At this current time, our license does not support that. But, actually, let me take a step back. Okay, so wherever you are, doesn't matter. If you are living this life where you got a boat and you're like in Australia, that's fine. We do have, and that's great. Take it remotely there. That's amazing. Especially you have Starlink or some awesome connection. Just make sure your connection's good. But we do have one sort of stipulation, and that's that you're a U.S. citizen. We were considering at one time opening that up. We don't have the manpower or the resources right now to support that. If you're interested and you're not a U.S. citizen, give us a shout. If we get enough interest in a specific area, we'll be happy to look into that. We do have folks that work for us now that are in Germany and the UK. So we do know that those are the 2 places we'll be considering launching very soon. But regarding taking the exam, you can take it from anywhere. Regarding who can, right now, it's only open to U.S. citizens. And we're looking at Germany and the UK in the next year.
Awesome. So this is fantastic stuff. This is, I'm excited. It's been a long time in the making. There's been a lot of work. Jonathan has done a ton of legwork on this. I try to make it and support as much as I can. Looking forward to doing more in the not too distant future. But this is huge, folks. This is a major happening for the world of UX, and we're excited about it. I think we're gonna wrap up here. I started to talk about, we were going to talk about the state of UX, but I think we've talked about the state of UX. I think it's been interwoven into a lot of what we said. So I'm going to move into closing remarks at this point and ask Jonathan what are his closing words. Where can we find you and connecting with you? Things of that nature. Your parting commentary for the audience today.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can't thank you enough. I was excited coming on to the show. My wife was too. She kept looking at the clock. She's like, "Oh, you better get ready. Don't you have some studying to do?" So yeah, I mean, it's great that we finally get to do this and talk about the American Board of Design. If you guys are interested, look us up online, theamericanboardofdesign.org. We are a real legit organization. We're also a legitimate academic institution. And yeah, any of the stuff that we talked about here in the podcast, if you have any questions, go ahead and hit me up. We used to have an open public Slack. Now it's invite only. So if you'd like to hop on that too, please reach out to us in any way you can. You can hit me up on LinkedIn, find me there, or on Twitter, and I'll be happy to chat with you about any of the licensure stuff. Parting words and stuff like that. Look, like we are under siege. What Darren was talking about is really true. But we're also at a good place where we have a choice. We have a choice to make things better, and we have a chance to right this ship. This has happened many cycles before. We're at another sort of crossroads, and we need to make sure that we make the right choices to prolong our careers and make them prosperous and authentic, and that's what we're here for. So we're excited to get that done.
Fantastic. So I want to thank you again. I know a long time coming in us getting this, this episode done, but this is great. Again, celebrating my 4 years, and part of my celebration is having people like Jonathan on the show. I love helping use my platform to get other voices out there. And so I'm glad that you're able to come and share with the audience on today. And so, yeah, awesome. Fantastic. I appreciate this. I know folks are going to absolutely love the content and the news that we're sharing here today. And I look forward to us making a change for the good in the discipline.
Awesome.
The siege must end, but it will end because some of us stop tolerating it and doing something about it. And that's what we're trying to do with this initiative. So again, thank you for taking the time to join us on today.
That's right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yes. So folks, that's all the time we have for today. So thanks again for listening in on the World of UX podcast. Again, we do our little plug at the end. Check out kaizentees.com. Get some of your wearable merchandise and your coffee mugs and your bento boxes and your caps and things of that nature. Help us with, if the podcast is beneficial to you, you're finding it useful, you're finding it helpful, please rate us. Please rate the show. There are people who get angry, of course, about some of the things we talk about. And angry people are the ones who usually have the most to say. So the angry people go out and try to make the show look bad. If you have been one of those people that I hear from all the time and talk about how you love the show, and you have yet to rate us on Apple or Amazon or wherever you choose to listen, please go out there, give the show a rating. You love 5 stars, 5 stars. You want to give us 4 stars, give us 4 stars. But please go out there, make your voice heard, help the show out by giving us a rating and let people know we are viable. It's not until people start sounding off about the podcast that people are going to start actually recognizing what it is that we're doing today. And we bend over backwards. We really make sacrifices to do what we're doing on this show. I have sold myself out in a sense by being as vocal as I am. A lot of people, they get angry and they seek to retaliate. And that's what a lot of people do. So I'm asking you today, if the show has really been a help, if it's vaulted you forward, please sound off. Let people know, hey, I love this show. This is great. Post a rating in the different resources. And we are very grateful for you taking the time to do that. But Jonathan has one more thing.
I was just going to say, guys, go buy a teddy bear. My birthday is in 2 days. I know what I'm getting. I'm getting a Kaizen teddy bear. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, the UX is not equal to UI teddy bear. Yes, it is. They are cute. It is cute. And we're trying to do more with that. I'm wearing one right now. I'm wearing a UX is not equal to UI t-shirt. And people see me out. I went at the coffee house this morning and somebody looked and they're looking at it and they're wondering what in the world that is. And people ask me about it all the time, but it's a nice, fun, cool way. They're comfortable, very comfortable. The t-shirts are. Many of them are oversized. I love them. I've got the Einstein thing going. They're lined up in my closet. It's grab and go. But I appreciate it, folks. If folks take the time to do that, don't do like the one person. I'm gonna call somebody out here. My call out thing again. Somebody saw it, thought it was cool. I posted to LinkedIn. They saw the t-shirt, thought it was cool. Instead of supporting it, ironically, this was the week after I said we don't support each other enough in UX. And the person went out, created their own similar t-shirt and started selling it on Etsy.
Oh my gosh.
And then posted it as a reply to my post. Yeah. This is the problem in UX today. Support. There are people doing worthy stuff. Support them. Notice I didn't say doing stuff, support them. People are doing worthy stuff, support them. We don't support each other enough and help our community be healthier.
Definitely.
So thanks for that. Appreciate that. Yeah, look forward to seeing the order on the teddy bear. Folks, check out the merchandise. It is pretty cool stuff. And if anything you'd like to see out there, by the way, my landscape of UX, the illustration with the 4 pillars, I'm updating it for the first time in about 4 years, and it will be for sale, and you can buy it and put it on the walls with your organization. It'll be the first time. That is
awesome.
happen. That's coming soon. That will be available on the Kaizen Tees website. I don't know how that'll fit on a t-shirt. We could. We'll see. But it definitely, if you've never seen it before, just go to images.google.com and look up Landscape of UX Darren Hood, and you'll see the image that I'm talking about. And we're going to be updating that in the very near future because there are some other things we need to add. 200, somebody counted 250 elements in that associated with UX. Wow. That's why you can't say UX/UI. Because every time you say UX, you're saying 250 things / one of the 250 things that was on there. Makes no sense. So we can't do that today. But folks, thanks again, Jonathan, for being on the show. Thanks to all of you out there for helping us to make this show what it is. Thank many of you for the feedback, for people reaching out and sounding off and sharing your thoughts, your input, sharing questions for me to address on the show. We appreciate you. We're very happy for you. And we're here to support you. We serve the UX community. But until next time, this is Darren Hood, the host of The World of UX, signing off. Happy UXing, everybody.